Hello and welcome to English 2. I'm your online teacher, Miss Bear. We have been looking at how authors present details to develop and refine claims. We have been working through an Engage New York module to accomplish that task. And so today we are going to be continuing with Eleanor Roosevelt's speech on the adoption of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Before we get into our agenda for the day, I want to remind you of our end of the unit task. You are going to read 3 different texts during this unit, and you are going to delineate the argument of each and analyze how the authors develop a common central claim. You have already delineated the argument in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. You are in the process of delineating the argument in Eleanor Roosevelt's speech about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and then you will also have an opportunity to work with a partner or a small group to delineate the argument of Malala's address to the United Nations Youth Assembly. So you're going to have time to work with small groups or partners to do this work before you have to write an essay. So just be ready and make sure that you're putting the work in so that when it comes time to write the essay, you've got all of your notes and you are prepared. So let's look at our agenda for the day. We are going to be accountable for our homework. We will listen to a masterful reading. We'll do some reading and discussion. We'll do a quick write, and then we will close with a little bit of homework. Again, you will see that we're working with Eleanor Roosevelt's speech. Today, we're going to be looking at paragraphs 10 through 16, which does finish out the rest of her speech. So last night, you were to use your delineation tool and complete or trace Roosevelt's claim and evidence from paragraphs 3 through 9. And so I'd like for you now to turn and talk and discuss that as well as the vocabulary you identified for the rest of the speech. Great job, okay? Now it is time to listen to the rest of Eleanor Roosevelt's speech as she gave it to the United Nations. Make sure that you have your text in front of you and that you continue some additional annotations as you listen. Good job. Now I'd like for you to find a partner, one that you will work with and not just chat with. I want you to reread paragraphs 10 through 11 and answer the questions on your screen. Great job. Now if I can get a volunteer to come up and lead the discussion on a few of these. I did break these up into 2 different slides, so I am going to need a volunteer, another volunteer, to lead the discussion for the second half of the questions. All right, if my other volunteer can come up and lead the discussion of the last 2 questions. Fantastic job. Now, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Y'all don't freak out. I think you're going to be okay. I know you're going to be okay because you guys are rocking and rolling. I want you by yourself, not with a partner this time. I want you to reread paragraphs 12 through 16 by yourself and answer the questions on your board. Know that you're going to have an opportunity to talk about these, but I want you to answer them by yourself first. Some of you were struggling, and that's okay. That is called a productive struggle, and that is good. It's good for your brain growth. It is good for all of the things. So if I can get a volunteer to come up and lead the discussion of the first 3 questions, I'm going to go ahead and put the masterful responses up, but I do want you to share your ideas, and I want you to revise what it is that you wrote for this first set of questions, and then also the second set, but we'll get to those in a second. So the first 3 questions, the first volunteer can lead that discussion. Great job. All right, now my second volunteer, if you will lead the discussion on the second set of questions. Fantastic job. I know that some of you are probably a little mad at me, and that's okay. You can be mad at me. Don't be mad at the teacher in your room because she didn't know I was going to do that. So you're okay. You got through it. So don't freak out too much. Now it is time for our quick write. And I know you're ready because some of you have led the discussions in your classrooms. You are ready for your quick write for today. So I want you to think about and write about how does Roosevelt use rhetoric in paragraphs 10 through 16 to advance the purpose of her speech. Guys, you have so many annotations and notes that you can use. You've got this. Great job. All right, now it is time for our homework. So if you will, your teacher will give you a copy of the argument delineation tool if you need an additional one. But I want you to trace Roosevelt's claims and reasoning in paragraphs 10 through 16. I also want you to research Malala and write a few sentences about her life to prepare for tomorrow's lesson. Until then, happy learning.